Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm going to show you how to use the code template we're going to have you use this year for Micromouse. Um, yeah, I think I explained more about this in the assignment document, but basically it's just a way to kind of get you quick started programming your mouse. So first thing to do is you're going to need to download the code template. So I have the URL here. It's also linked in the assignment. Um, and we're going to start by just downloading the whole entire zip file. So I have this downloaded here. I'll drag it to my desktop and then unzip it um, and open that folder. And as you can see, there's a bunch of stuff in here. This all is like the complete code template. That's a little too much for right now, so we're just going to start with assignment 1. There's also example code in here, which you'll probably find useful later for later assignments, but yeah, for now we're just going to focus on this assignment 1. So for anyone who's ever programmed in C++ before, the structure should look pretty familiar. We have a source and a headers folder. So yeah, these are the files we're going to be working with. We're doing assignment 1, so the assignment 1 folder is what we're interested in. And so now let's get that into embed. So in embed, I'm going to assume that you've already added the Nucleo as a valid kind of like programming interface, which is explained in the document. So yeah, you can click New, go over and hit New Program. Your platform should be set to the Nucleo F411RE. And then just go ahead and select this blinky Hello World example. And then yeah, you can create a new program, call it whatever you want. For example, like My Awesome Rat or something is good. Now Embed is going to create a new program. So yeah, it has these 3 files, main.cpp, readme, and then this embed library. So we're going to actually want to delete main.cpp. We kind of just wanted to get a new project, but we don't care whatever's in here. So we have this, and now we're going to create 2 new folders. So first we're going to create a headers folder, and then create a source folder. So basically we want to mimic the structure we have set up in our code template. It's just embed doesn't let you drag entire libraries at once. So yeah, now we're just going to import all these files. So we have all our headers. So just go ahead, select all of those, drag them in, and then do the same thing for the source folder. Set up, drag those in. And yeah, now your program should be ready to compile and run. So if I come over here and I click compile, I already have one thing, looks like I downloaded. Your embed will do a bunch of stuff that it has to do when you compile a program for the first time. So while we wait for this to finish, you're getting a bunch of warnings here. You can just ignore these. They're internal embed things. Nothing to be worried about. They'll go away whenever when you compile a new program. Looks like our thing is getting just about done. So yeah, it's compiled and linked, and now we have our file here, my awesome rat project .bin, and then so yeah, I don't have it right now because I don't have the rat with me. But normally you'd have your little rat show up right here, and you can just come over, drag this, and kind of drop this in the folder. It might be different on Windows, I'm not sure, but yeah, the basic point is now you have a program that you can upload to your rat. So yeah, a little more about what this code template is actually doing. So you can see so our main.cpp is very minimal. Basically, we want to just be calling one function. So, excuse me. So right now, we're calling this blinky LED function. So basically, we're not doing any actual work in main. We're just saying, oh, go call this function, and that function will essentially run our whole program. So I like to call these function run modes, just because that's kind of an easy way for me to think about them. Is this is a different way for your mouse to run. So yeah, this blinky LED is defined in this assignment1.cpp. So these assignment folders, you're going to get a new one for each assignment. So you're going to get assignment2.cpp and so on. And they'll all kind of contain code with instructions basically about what you're going to do on that assignment. So for example, this first one, we have blinky LED, which is, just like sanity check, does your rat actually work? And it just toggles the LED, just like the initial blinky code does. And then we also have this second function called hello world, which gets you started on serial output, which I think is part 5 of assignment 1. So yeah, that has more information there. But yeah, the basic idea of this is, in all these things, you can have, you can say, let's say, you want to do a new thing. So you could say void, I don't know, test printing, for example. Not very creative, but and then you can say, pc.printf some very, very, very long string. So yeah, you can just add another run mode here, and then you'd go into assignment1.h, and you'd say void test printing. So you define that there, and then come into main, and when you want to run another function, you just say void test printing. So you kind of change the run mode. And yeah, that's it. Then you should be able to, once it saves, you should be able to compile it. And then you're going to get a new program, which, if this ever, sometimes it just takes a long time. Yeah, so then you have a new bin, which you can upload to your mouse with a different behavior. So yeah, now I can just go over some of the rest. So I already covered what assignment1.cpp does. Globals.cpp is basically where you want to have all your nice global variables that are just really nice to have around. We have the LED and the serial monitor, or serial PC. These are just super useful in debugging all the time. Like sometimes you just want a light to go on to indicate something has happened. So yeah, it's just nice to have those readily available throughout the program. And then our most important header file is this pins.h. So you can see we take the names that embed gives us. So for example, LED1 is something defined in embed. You also have all your pins, like you could say like PA9 or something. That pin doesn't mean anything, but all your nucleo pins are defined as part of the embed library. And then we kind of just assign them to like a common name. So we define that LED name so that when we want to use that pin, we can just say LED instead of trying to remember the specific pin it was. And then otherwise, the rest of these are just kind of normal header files. Again, if you work with C++, you should know how these work. Globals.h. Globals.h has this fancy extern thing. Don't worry too much about it. Just know that it needs to be there, so don't delete it. LED.h. Yeah, so this is the one thing I didn't talk about yet. This defines an LED class, which is kind of just hardware abstraction. It's just nice if you want to kind of encapsulate more complicated functionality. LEDs are extremely simple, but once we start working with like motors and stuff, we don't always want to be working directly like with the pins. We want to kind of have some layer on top of that, like tell our motors to go 50% speed and just have them do that. So yeah, you can see MLED or LED class is implemented here. And yeah, it's very simple. Like I said, this is built on top of the digital out embed class, which yeah, it does all this stuff kind of for you. But yeah, this is just like an example, and these are going to get a lot more complicated later on. And I'll be providing some of that template code, and you'll have to fill in some of it yourself. So yeah, that's basically that for the basics of the code template. Again, this assignment, you're going to be working with these two functions. In this case, you don't have to modify them. You don't have to modify them. You can just run them, and if the rest of your setup is good, then these will work. And in future assignments, that won't be the case. You'll have to fill some stuff in. or like modify something or something like that. But yeah, that will come with later assignments, and I'll probably also be putting more of these videos out to show how all that stuff works when it comes. But yeah, for now, that's it. If you guys have any questions, again, just don't hesitate to ask me or David about anything. Yeah, see you guys later.